Which one you like? Because I'm John Willems, and I'm representing the Maryland Association of Boards of Education, and on behalf of all 24 local boards of education, testifying in strong support of something simple. I would say keep it simple, Sam, as I often do. That might be taken to refer to one bill over another. But we worked at the Association of Boards of Education for a couple sessions with some of the advocates who are in the room today to pass a pretty straightforward bill to extend the concept of in loco parentis to arrangements between school system employees that involved consensual sexual activity between those employees and 16 and 17-year-old students off premises. If it's on premises, it's child abuse. But if you say, let's meet in the Dairy Queen parking lot after school and engage in consensual sexual activity, it was not. And this committee and the Judicial Proceedings Committee agreed in 2006 to address that issue by passing the Person in Position of Authority statute. And unfortunately, from our perspective, the Senate amended the legislation to limit the scope of that law to full-time permanent employees. We have since asked, I think, every session since, probably, for that restriction to be removed, to include basically coaches and substitute teachers. Now, many of our coaches are full-time employees, but many are not, and substitute teachers rarely qualify as full-time permanent employees. And that's a lot of people who have a lot of perceived and real authority over students that our parents trust the schools to protect. And so it's a fairly simple, straightforward proposition. Certainly, House Bill 362 takes the more straightforward and simpler approach to addressing the problem. House Bill 781 is a more comprehensive reform, and I think, as the committee has pointed out, that is likely to create more drafting challenges. As an old bill drafter, I know those challenges can be overcome, but may not be necessary. But this is a serious issue, and I would urge the committee to trust us as local boards of education responsible for the safety and welfare of now 860,000 public school students, and certainly the 16 and 17-year-olds in that group. Their parents trust us to have employment policies in place where I feel 21 is certainly appropriate, that when we interview a new teacher, that teacher understand that sexual contact, activity, intercourse with a student is completely and utterly out of the question and sanctionable under the criminal law. And I don't think it requires a whole lot of heavy thinking or lifting to close that loophole that's existed since 2006 and urge the committee to do so. Thank you.
Yes, Delegate Roy.
The first one is a couple of the written testimonies received asked for amendments to include members of employees of the boards of education as persons of positions of authority. I wonder, I don't recall if MABE had a position. Do you on that?
Well, right. If you give lawyers long enough, they'll think it through. And we had one of our most experienced school attorneys look at this legislation this year, as I presume he's looked at it for nearly a decade now, and he said, oh my goodness, our employees are not employees of a school. Our employees are all employees of the Board of Education.
Board of Education.
And so
right.
Both bills, either bill would require, we feel, an amendment to clarify that when it says employed by, it say a county Board of Education, because we are, in fact, the employer as opposed to an individual school. An institution probably isn't clear enough with regard to all the other laws that apply and refer to the county board or county Board of Education as the employer.
Gotcha.